Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, let's just get into it. You see, checkers is fast, right? With checkers, you're reactive. Checkers, you're surface level, right? And when I say checkers, I mean like the game, the board game, right? Like you're fast, reactive, and you're playing surface level when you're doing checkers, right? On the other hand, on the contrast of that, right? Chess, right? That's another board game, right? But when you compare checkers to chess. Now, when you're doing chess, chess is slow. Chess is strategic. Chess is deep, right? And so, checkers, fast, reactive, surface level. Chess, slow, strategic, and deep, right? And so let me ask you, like, straight up, bro, like, are you living a life like you're playing a fucking checkered board, or are you living your life like you're playing the fucking master of the chess game? Right, of the chess, like you're the legend, right? Like and really what this is all about, like, is like, are you putting strategy into your life, or you're not, right? Are you just living day by day, or are you just fucking actually mapping things out so that you're going and you're heading in a direction that you actually want to go? Because one, like, whether you do checkers or whether you do chess, right? One of them, right? One of them is going to get you by, right? One of them is just going to, like, give you a life that it's whatever comes up because you're living day by day. And the other one, my friend, the other one, chess, right? It's going to make you, like, live a life and leave it like a legend, right? Because you're planning things, you're putting things into play, right? And so you see, most men, like, we wake up, we go to work, we pay the bills, we grind it out, and, like, what happens is that we're on this routine, and then we end up calling that shit a fucking strategy, bro. But the truth is that shit is not a fucking strategy, right? That is, like, straight up checkers thinking, because we're in the loop, we're in the routine, we're in this monogamous, like, thing that you're just like, you wake up, you go to work, you pay the bills, you grind it out, you go to repeat, like, and you're stuck on like this every day. And right, this is why it's so important for you to plan and evaluate yourself and seeing how you're doing, like, emotionally, like, how, like, bro, just in all areas of your life, right? And so today's episode is really like a gut check for the man who wants fucking more, right? The one who is made for more, right? And the one who is ready to start, like, playing the fucking long game, like his life depends on it. Because guess what, my friend? It fucking does, right? It really does. And so the cost of short-term thinking is really like checkers moves, right? Like you're playing the checkers game, right? And so every shortcut you take now is a corner you'll eventually crash into, right? And so how many shortcuts are you taking, right? Like, are you always taking the easy route? Are you always cutting corners? Are you always like looking for the easy way out? Because it's fast right now, but eventually you're going to crash that way. Eventually you're going to get passed by people who are putting strategy into play, right? Who are thinking long term, who are making moves based on a future that they want, a future that they're trying to create, a future that is way better than the one that they're just winging, right? And so checkers is about what's in front of you right now, right? It's reactive, it's impulsive, it's emotional, right? Like, some examples of fucking playing checkers is like jumping jobs, bro. Like, I've seen a lot of people in the industry, and I've actually have not jumped many jobs. Like, I've been a long-term type of employee. And now I'm pursuing entrepreneurship, right? And so when you're jumping jobs, right, you go from quick to quick jobs, right? Just because of this pay bump, right? Instead, like, staying at one job and developing the mastery, developing, like, the loyalty, right? Like the being with them long term, growing with them, right? And that's what I did. I stayed with one company for 11 plus years, right? Or another example is like, man, you quit the fucking gym after 2 weeks just because you didn't see the results. Like, they come in fast enough, right? But the fucking gym is one of those things that takes fucking lots of weeks for you to develop, and start seeing some results, right? And so, if you're playing checkers, you're all about the short-term game. You're reactive, you're impulsive, you're emotional, right? It's kind of like also like sacrificing fucking time with like your family time, right? You're sacrificing that shit, like, for a fucking ego stroke or for fleeting hit of dopamine because you want to doing something that makes you happy right now instead of being the man that your family needs, right? So checkers is seductive because it feels like progress, right? But the truth is that checkers feels like chaos because it's that like disguised as motion, right? And so we think just because we're moving and we're doing everything, like that you think you're making progress, but like, are you really analyzing how things are going? Do you have a direction that you're going towards, right? Like you see, checkers is like I was saying, a disguise as like when you're taking motion, and so that's a trap that keeps good fucking men from becoming great men because they stay on this fucking routine, right? And because you think you're on a routine or whatever, and you're not evaluating where things going, are you playing the long-term game or are you playing the short-term game, right? The power of delayed gratification, my friend, that is chess thinking, right? And so when I say you're playing the short-term game, you're playing the long-term game, right? Long-term game requires you to have delayed gratification. Like it's like playing chess. It's a fucking lot harder than playing checkers, right? Like long-term moves require short-term sacrifice. I'm fucking living it right now. And so how much sacrifice are you willing to make in order to get to the fucking level that you want to do, right? You see, like kings don't fear pressure. They actually welcome it, right? And so are you willing to go through that short-term sacrifice in order to get your long-term results, in order to make those long-term moves, in order to put those plays into action, right? A lot of times it takes making sacrifices, right? And so chess, it requires you having vision, it requires you having patience, it requires you having discipline, right? Like you don't just like you don't eat the marshmallow today, right? Because you've got the feast coming later, right? You fucking wait and you hold off on it. And it's actually a phrase. I'm laughing because I was like, yo, what the fuck kind of phrase is that? I read it from my outline. And yo, that's just something that came up online, and I wrote it down. It made me funny. I figured I'd throw some humor into this shit. But like, bro, it's kind of like playing chess, right? Like you're sticking through a tough fucking marriage, or through a tough season, I should say actually, in your marriage because you believe like in the mission of your marriage, right? That's playing chess. That's playing the long term game, right? That's like waiting for the feast later, or actually working on the feast together so that you could feast magnificently later, right? And so don't just fucking bail because you're in a season of fucking toughness, right? Fucking that's actually what makes your marriage even fucking better. That's what you were able to work through that shit. That's what's gonna make you guys connected more and more bond better, right? Or like let's say you're building a business, right? And like you gotta wake up earlier and while you're having your day job, a lot of people have 9 to 5s. And so while you're doing your business and 9 to 5, it's gonna require you to fucking wake up earlier. It's gonna require you to work after hours, right? And so, right, maybe it takes for you to wake up at fucking 4 a.m., right? While you're still working the full-time job. That's fucking a chess move, right? That's playing the long-term game, right? Or what about investing your time like with your kids or with your family or with your spouse, even when you're exhausted, right? Because what happens is that when you do that, you're working on building the trust, on building the legacy that is important for you, for your family, right? And so again, that is a chess move. That is because the reason why it's a chess move because you're fucking exhausted, because you had a long day, because you've had fucking the shittiest or day or whatever. Let's just have an example. And you get home and now like you got to be willing to let that out and putting aside, right? So that you could be present with your family, so you could be the man that they need, so that you could be the fucking role model that leads your family into the direction that you want to, right? You see, chess players, they don't just plan their next move, right? They're thinking 5 moves ahead, 5 steps ahead. Like, what are they doing next quarter? Not like, what are they doing at the end of the year? What are they doing next year? Like, what are their plans, right? There, you see, like when you're doing chess, right? Like, we're not driven by comfort, right? Like, we're driven by the conviction, right? And so, chess it requires you to play the long-term game. It's right. It's a fucking difficult game, right? And just like it is in life, right? Life can be difficult, but what we can do is fucking try to head in the direction that we're working on. But if you don't even know the fucking direction that you're going, then how could you even work on bringing that to life, right? And so, how to become a chess master in your life, right? It all starts with the fucking discipline, right? And discipline isn't sexy. And that's why so many of us, and I still fall to this day, like break what we say we're gonna fucking do, right? Because discipline isn't sexy. Discipline is hard. Like, but discipline, it always makes the difference between a man who builds a dynasty and who builds and who doesn't build much, who's pretty much just watching from the sidelines, right? Because he lacks the discipline. Man, if and as an entrepreneur, I fucking experienced this a lot. If you don't have good discipline, you're not gonna be as productive as you need to because you're just like slacking. Like you're just fucking not I shouldn't even say slacking, I should say not being the most productive that you could be because you think you have time. And so locking in, having discipline is really what has helped me stick to like the growth pattern, right? Because it gets routine and you're like, oh, I know I got to do that, but having the fucking discipline, long term, right? Doing the shit that you don't want to do, despite you not wanting to do it, it's what builds you. It's what grows you. It's what heads you in the right direction, right? Like even like building your spiritual strength, right? So like you can make the right moves when it comes. And actually, I fucking recommend this so much. That's why I put it up there, because as you're making these hard moves, as you're playing chess, as you're going the long-term game, it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be like you're gonna need some spiritual strength. You're gonna need actually a lot of fucking spiritual strength, and this is why it's one of the important things. And it's one how we live by the code, like God is first, like Jesus is king, and fucking that shit gives you so much strength and honor and confidence, and it makes you fucking go after the life that you really want, right? And another thing that you could do as a chess move is fucking journal. Like, journal is like, I like to reference it as like your tuning log, right? Like this is your way to tune yourself. And like you write down things, and a lot of times you're journaling and you're like, yo, what the fuck? I didn't even know I had that in me, right? But it takes you actually putting pen to paper and just letting the mind free, right? That works. Praying also works. Planning your week ahead works. Like reviewing your months, locking in, actually fucking setting some things that are gonna move your life forward, right? Like, do you have those into play, right? Do you even reflect on the things that are going on in your life to even know that you're moving in the direction that you want? Like, those are the shit that helps us play chess, right? Versus checkers, right? You see, master the fucking game, bro. Some analogies that we can use, right? Your queen in chess is like your purpose in life, right? Your rooks, like are your routines, right? Your knight, it's like your creativity and your intuition, right? And the pawns, right? Your pawns are like your fucking daily habits because they're small but powerful when played the right way for the long term game, right? And so this life won't hand you kingship, bro. It's not gonna be easy. You gotta fucking earn that shit. You gotta play with intention. You gotta have grit. You gotta have fire. You gotta have the willingness to go and fucking do what you gotta do because you're not gonna want to do that shit, right? You see, that man, right, after 10 years of doing that shit, of getting ahead, and maybe it'll be 5, maybe 8, maybe 3, whatever, but you do that shit for a long fucking time, and you're gonna see, you're gonna look back and you're like, yo, I don't even fucking recognize that guy, right? And that's how you create the life that you actually want. And so let me ask you this question, my friend. Where in your life are you playing checkers when you know damn well that it's time to fucking start playing chess? And my challenge for you this week is I want you to identify one major move that you've been avoiding because it's just hard, right? Because it's uncomfortable, because it's inconvenient, right? And I want you to make it anyway, right? I want you to go all in because you're building your future, my friend. You're not like, if you really want to go create this, what you said you wanted, it's going to take uncomfortable steps, right? And so right now, I want you to list that one major move that you got to do and fucking go do it anyway. Feel the fear, embrace the fear, and go fucking do it anyway, bro. Like, checkers is how fucking boys live, and chess is how kings rise. So, my brother, it's time to make your move. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has helped us with. Because God has tasked us with. And if you still, my friend, you still haven't subscribed yet, brother, it's time to smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you vibe with today's message, if it resonated with you, and you want to help out, you want to help contribute to this growth of this mission, then my brother, do me a solid and share this with someone that you know. Do me a solid and share this with another gearhead, with another motorhead, with another man who's into bettering their life, right? Because that's right there how we keep this movement growing. I'll catch up with you in the next episode, but till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.